Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today that was my phone. Today I'm going to be telling you a story about my first haunted house, which was a couple of weeks ago. And I know that it's past Halloween and all that, but I really did want to tell this story while it's so fresh in my mind and I can actually like remember the little details and everything. So I'm going to be telling you about that. Alright, so I've been with my husband, like we haven't been married, but we've been together for going on 4 years in May. And ever since I first started dating him, I've been begging him to take me to a haunted house. Now, the reason why is because no one would ever go with me. My best friend growing up would not go, she was too scared, and no one else would ever go with me. So I was just like, please babe, please take me to one. And Will was like, no, I'm too scared. And I was like, why? And I'm just gonna get this out right now. I am terrified of anything. Like, even watching like paranormal story times on YouTube and all that, like I get really freaked out and I'm like, I'm too scared. But I am a big old fraidy cat, and for some reason I really wanted to do a haunted house though. So I have been begging him for years. Well, this year for Halloween, well, before Halloween, like the weekend of Halloween, we went up to visit his mom in a different town, which is about like 2.5 hours away from here. And it was Halloween weekend, of course, so they had their haunted house and all that going on. And we get up there, and the first night we're there, his mom had mentioned that they had the biggest haunted house in the state that she lives in, and we were like, and I was like, please go with me, and he wouldn't. So it wasn't until the following night. So I was like begging him, like, please, please, please take me to this. I've always wanted to go to one. You've always told me no, like, please, can we do this? And he kept saying no, like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm too scared. I don't want to. It makes me sick to my stomach. I don't want to do that. And I was like, oh my gosh, you hate me. Well, he ended up having his other little sisters come over. So he has his, like, sister Peyton, which I have known her forever, and now he has 3 stepsisters, and they're like 15, 13, and 10 maybe? I might be wrong on that, I'm sorry. But they all wanted to go. Like, the 2 older ones wanted to go, and his other little sister didn't want to go. Peyton was too scared. I'm sure you've seen her on my channel before. I don't know why I'm calling her a little sister, because you know who she is. But anyways, the other 2 really wanted to go, and Peyton did not want to go because she was too scared. And I like begged him for the 24 hours leading up to this. I was like, please go with me. Well, they ended up coming over, and their friends had canceled, and they wouldn't go without Will going. And so I was like, please, you can't let your little sisters down. And he started thinking about it, and he was like, well, maybe. And Peyton was like, well, if you go, I'll probably go. And so I was like, please. And I was like begging him to take me to this thing because I've always wanted to go to one. So he agrees, and we end up buying our tickets online. So his mom goes onto the website and she looks at the tickets, and the only ones they have left are the VIP tickets, which means that you get 3 extra scary rooms at the end of it. And I was kind of scared, like a little bit, like just kind of nervous and like, oh, I don't know if I should actually be doing this. Like, is this a good idea? But I decided I was going to try and go and see how it was. And she bought the tickets, the VIP ones, because that's all that they had online. So we had spent about 20 bucks a piece on these tickets. I mean, they weren't cheap. And so I was like, man, if Will chickens out, then we just wasted a lot of money on this. And I don't know how I feel about that, but we ended up spending the money, and that night rolls around. So we all get in the car, and I'm driving, he's passenger, and then we have the 3 girls in the back seat. And he keeps telling me, like, I don't feel good about this. I feel so sick. Like, I don't know if I can do this. And I was like, it'll be fine. Like, it's gonna be fun. And I was feeling so confident at this point. And I was like, it's okay, we can do this. So we ended up showing up an hour early. We got there at 6, it started at 7, and we had to go into one line and wait until they gave us our wristbands and the VIP stamp, and then we had to go wait into another VIP line, and they had the regular line next to us. And we wait, and about 7:15 they open the doors and they start putting people in the building. And the first thing you see is a guy sitting in a wheelchair with like a skeleton mask on, and that kind of scared me, even though it wasn't even scary. And so we just walk in, and we're waiting in line, and they send groups of 4 at a time. And one of the girls ended up going with her friend. So she wasn't with us, it was just 4 of us. It was me, Peyton, Will, and Kuma. And so we get in line, and we're waiting, and we are pretty close to the front because we had gotten there so early, and we hear people going in before us, and you can hear people screaming behind the wall. And that's when I start getting kind of nervous, like, oh, I don't know if this is a good idea. Like, I kind of regret my decision. And Will keeps looking at me like, I don't know if I should be doing this or not. And Peyton is like burying her head in Kuma's back because she's terrified. She doesn't want to do it, doesn't want to go through it. So we finally get to the front of the line, and we're standing there, and they pull us back to the room, and she says, okay, well, here's the rules. And she tells us, like, you can't hit the people, and If you get too scared, you have to put your hands in the air and say, I'm done, and they will show you a way out. That way you don't have to go through the rest of it. And just basically going over general rules. So we stand there for about a minute and she explains all this, and this is where it gets like bad for me. So she sends us through a certain door, which is the VIP door, and then they have like the regular door for the other people. And we go behind the door, and there's a long hallway, and at the end of the hallway, in the corner, sitting there in a white gown, is a girl. And she has her hair like covering her face, and she obviously is gonna do something. And you know something's about to happen. And so I'm like standing there and I'm kind of watching her, and I'm like holding onto my husband's hand as hard as I can because I am terrified. And I don't know why I wanted this, because I'm terrified of ghost movies, ghost shows. I'm terrified of paranormal stuff on YouTube. I'm terrified of anything. Like, I am the biggest wimp you're ever gonna meet. And I'm watching her and my heart's starting to kind of race a little bit. And she screams when we walk past her, so I get scared and I scream. And then you go around the corner and there's someone laying on the ground, and you know that they're gonna get up. They come up and they get like this far from Kiyoma's face and they just scream, and I scream again because it scared me. And there's 3 doors, and so I'm like, where do we go? And so I don't know where we go, and they end up like shoving us into this other door, which it wasn't even the other ones. And it's a net and you have to climb up it, and you are in pitch black. You can't see anything, and I'm like, this is a horrible idea. And we climb up it, and I'm holding onto my husband's hand, and Peyton is crying in front of me. And I knew that she was going to quit, and thank goodness she did, because I was about to quit. So we get to the top of the net, and there's a slide, and you don't know that there's a slide there because you can't see anything. You can't see your hand in front of your face. And so I'm like, I don't know what to do. Something's gonna hit the slide and I'm gonna scream, and I'm being such a baby. And so I like grab my husband and pull him down behind me. We get to the bottom and there's strobe lights going, and then there's 2 other little girls dressed in all white with black around their eyes. And they were like creepy, but it was the strobe light that gave it that effect because you can't see anything. Like, it's really hard. And so at this time, like, I am freaked out. I'm pretty much done. And Peyton puts her hands up and she says, I'm done, I'm done. And I was like, I'll go with you. And the first thing she says is, please don't tell my mom. And the reason why she said that is because she didn't want her mom to think that she had like ruined my good time because I had made such a big deal of going with her. And Will is like, well, it's okay, I'll go with Kima, we'll finish out this ride, it'll be fine. Or we'll finish out the haunted house and it'll be fine. And so I'm like, okay, I'll go with Peyton. And then he's like, are you sure? Like, is this gonna ruin your good time? Because I'll go with her. I was like, no, it's fine, I got this. And I played it off like I was so cool about it. Like, it's okay, like, I'll take one for the team. But in reality, I was very, very thankful that she had said she wanted to quit it. And so we get outside and she's like, did I ruin your time? I'm so sorry, I'm sorry. And I'm like, no, it's okay, because I was actually freaking out a little bit and I'm really glad that you did that. And so her and I get outside and we're talking about like the worst parts of it for us, and we're like kind of freaking out, and I had forgot to get my keys from my husband. So we're standing out in the cold and it is freezing and we're waiting for them, but her and I are talking so fast and kind of shaking, and so I have to admit on my Snapchat, which I had posted about all this, I admitted that I was the pansy who couldn't finish it. And then my husband got through and he's like, it wasn't even that scary, like, really? And I was like, really? But he had told me some stuff that made me like really glad I didn't go through it. Like, there were clowns and stuff like that, and that if you went through the wrong door, people would like scream in your face, and that type of stuff like just freaks me out. And so I'm really happy I didn't go through with it. So we ended up waiting outside, and they took about like 7 more minutes after that, and they were out, and he said that he had a good time, and I was like, I didn't. That was not fun for me. But we ended up having just a good time sitting in the car after that, laughing and talking, and we went home, and I had to admit to his family that I had chickened out, and yeah, I don't think I'll ever go to another haunted house ever again. No joke. But anyways, I know that it's after Halloween, and I know that you guys are probably like, okay, we want different stories, but I just really wanted to share this because I think that it is so funny that I was just such a chicken. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you for subscribing to my channel and supporting me and all that, and I really do appreciate it. And I know that that's so generic and you guys are probably like, they don't even care about us. But I promise I do, and I really do like when you guys message me on Twitter and start conversations, and when you comment on my videos. So if you did like this video, give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and I will be sure to reply to you. But thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you in my next video. Bye!